morning, soul family. How are you doing this beautiful morning? Why don't we walk around and take a peek around the yard while we choose our items. I haven't done a reading out here for a little while. Haven't been out in this garden in the front for a while. With you guys, anyway. It's been quite a morning, spiritually. Interesting morning. The messages that I've been getting. I wanted to address a couple of different things. And this reading is going to be about relationships because I got a relationship deck. It's called the Mirror cards. And, but first let me talk about energy. I wasn't even sure how I was going to start this day. And how, I mean, not the day. I've been up since 5. My cats decide that while we live in Sedona, 5 o'clock in the morning is a good time for mommy to get up. Whether mommy wants to or not. There's my king. He had his bath yesterday, and he likes to sit in that window and listen to all the birds in the morning. And I will tell you, every single one of these bird baths, they're in. This one especially has been a huge hit. And I keep marbles in this one in case the bees want to come and land on it. But man, they've taken a lot out of this bowl. I'm going to have to give them a little bit more. But here, I'll move it over to the side a bit. This is so they don't drown. It's still pretty. The birds can come take a drink, but if the bees get in, at least they can climb on something and get themselves out. We need our bees as much as we possibly can help them would be a positive. So there's so much calcium in the water here. It's ruining my beautiful bowls. Ugh. Anyway, items to choose from. That light, that's my latest. Got to get a citronella candle for that. It's almost like a lighthouse light, right? The sweet sage. This sage smells insane. What's the name of it? Did I keep the little tag? It must be on the other one. So this one. Oh, I know. My happy Buddha. I brought him out from the backyard. He wasn't getting much attention back there. And I liked him to greet everyone. Oh my gosh, the javelinas came and ate my plant. Are you kidding me? Okay, I was saving this because there wasn't much left. And I could see that that didn't work out very well. So if you leave anything out, they'll devour it. My goodness. Okay, so what do we have? 3 items, right? All right. Okay. I heard this morning less is more, Sherry, when I was putting on my jewelry. And at first I just put on this one and this one. I love this. I think this will be your 4th item. This beautiful angel. She's just amazing. She's got the dove of peace. She's playing music. Music is really important to her. What else is going on with her? Let me look. She's delivering a star. She's delivering a star to somebody. Or maybe she's grabbed that star. She went after the moon and grabbed a star. Interesting. These are little sparks flying from her. I choose that. I wanted to show you these though. We'll do this as a choice another time. These are all my animal messengers. I'm gonna take it off and let you guys look at it really close. It's so magical. Where did I get them both? 3? All 3 of them? The Goodwill. It's my favorite place here. The dove of peace, the fox, the bear, the fish, the raccoon, or maybe you're a wolf. Oh, you know what? You're going in order. That's interesting. Bear, fish, bird, bear, fox, fish, bear, fox, bird, bird, turtle, white fox, snow fox, bluebird, another fish, bear, hummingbird. Look at the hummingbird. It's carnelian. And turquoise turtle. Every one of these is a crystal. There's abalone shell is in that one fish, but all the rest are crystals. Isn't it magical? It's magical. I was so excited when I saw it. I couldn't believe it. Sedona is the best place if you're a spirit, obviously a spiritual person, if you want to get really cool jewelry. and then this one. So, okay, here's the deal. I'm in a twin soul relationship, you know that, and it's been a lot of work. And because I've been so public, these are all the same kind of crystals, but they're just stones. I draw a lot of people to me that are also dealing with the same situation. I understand that. I'm a twin soul facilitator. They come to me, they're drawn to me clearly because I'm public and I've been through it for such a long time. I want to explain to you, Penny, why I blocked you from my page. I understand your anger and feeling like your twin is evil and doing all of this and how you are watching his life through your eyes and how he's watching your life through his eyes and you feel invaded. I've been through that. I've experienced exactly the same thing. I watched what my twin did. It wasn't fun. I watched him watch my life. I ended up places I didn't know why I was there. I just was there because we are the same soul. And as you are awakening to this and the Kundalini is going crazy, it's Kundalini madness, you are thinking heavily about this one because the connection is so strong that you end up pulling them to wherever you are. And I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to be a part of it. It hurt me. It confused me. I understand where you're coming from. I felt that same anger, that same confusion, that same hurt. And I know that that's why you come to my page and why you were listening, because maybe trying to find answers or I don't know. But I will say it one more time. I am not a witch. I do not align with witches. I do not approve of it. I do not deal with binding spells. It's not in the light, period. You'd never bind a person's free will, even to help them, even to protect them. You don't bind someone. It's their lesson to learn. So if I noticed that that's what you were into, and I thought, I don't want to talk about it. I made my stance very clear. You wouldn't let it go. You had to keep coming back. And I thought, okay, you know what? Please stop this. This is my page. This is how I feel. I've lived many past lives. I remember many of them. Always burned at the stake until the last one here, where I had my heart ripped out while I was alive as a Native American. But mostly it was burned at the stake for being a witch that I was not. And I died protesting. I am not a witch. I'm a healer. I'm a medicine woman. I always have been. I'm not going to argue this point with every single person that comes along. I don't need to. And I will not align with you if you are a witch. I will not align with you, whether you're a white witch or not. I've got a new deck that I just got, and I love the deck. One of the first cards that came up was White Witch, and I'm like, I didn't write the deck, but I will tell you, I came back here to say I am not a witch. I don't care what you want to talk about. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You're entitled to your own beliefs. Stop telling me who I am. I know who I am. I'm very, very well aware of who I am. Now, as far as the divine masculine and the divine feminine and the twin soul relationship, it's not my job to teach my twin what to do and how to figure out his messages and his lessons. It's my job to figure out mine. So I've been through the anger. I've been through I've risen. I'm now to the place where I'm at peace. I know who I am. I know what I'm worthy of. I'm not sitting on my butt waiting for some guy to come save me. I save myself. I fill my void with my own self. I know what I'm capable of because Spirit's made me prove it to myself. I know what I'm worthy of. I won't take anything less. And I'm not going to sit here and say that my divine masculine is evil any more than I am evil. What I went through was absolutely evil. What I was put through was evil. It was. But it wasn't him doing it. It was dark energy that doesn't want the twin souls to come together. There is for all of you divine masculine who are trying to find your way back and, geez, how do I get back in after I treated her the way that I did? I dismissed her. I didn't see her worth. Or maybe you didn't feel worthy yourself and you didn't recognize that your divine counterpart only sees the light in you and you rise together. When you heal, I heal, right? When you go down, I go down. When you hurt, I hurt. We are never separated. So staying away doesn't help me. It doesn't help you. It hurts us both. We're better together. But I'm not going to sit here and plead my case to my divine masculine, my twin soul. He knows who he is. He knows who I am. He's known all along. He probably knew before I did. But I will tell you that there is a reader, and it's called Morning Karma. Okay, there's a cockroach. Why are you upside down? Are you dying? don't know what's going on. There's a cockroach dying in front of me. Like literally dying in front of me. It's so strange. I didn't step on him. I just all of a sudden saw him struggling. He's dying. So Cockroach Totem. And he keeps flipping himself over. I don't know what happened to him. He's dragging his feet along. There's a message in that. I'll figure it out later. Cockroaches aren't around where it's dirty, actually. They're very clean. They like it where it's clean. I don't know if you know that. My neighbor said, oh my God, I saw a cockroach. It freaked me out. And I'm like, they're all over in the desert. It's hot. I mean, it hurts me to watch him struggle like that. I'm going to pick him up and put him out in the ground. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to help you. I'm sorry. Come on. I don't know what happened. There you go. Go over here. It's okay. There you go. I can't handle anything suffering. Okay. So it's called, I think it's called morning coffee. I'll put her the name of her YouTube channel in here. But I listen to her often. She's quite fascinating. She lives in Australia. She's trying to get to England where her 3 kids are. And she's in a twin soul relationship. And she addresses the karmic soulmate, the karmic twin, basically tells the story. I already live it. I don't want my mind and energy focused on my twin's karmic partner. Whether it be a brother, a mother, a lover. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. It hurts me. So I'm going to focus my energy on myself. But for all of you divine masculine who are trying to find their way back, you're having your awakening or reawakening, because a lot of you think you have awoken. But we constantly reawaken, right? Have maybe awoken to the fact that, wow, I need to change things, or how do I do this? How do I handle this? And even feminine, right? There's a lot of karmic soulmate feminine, and others that are struggling along that. Listen to her. She'll let you know what's going on. The karmics are waking up, and because the divine masculine and the divine feminine are waking up to realize that they've been with karmic partners, karmic soulmates. Now, in my case, it appears to me, I feel like there's a bird in the middle of the street, and I just got to go check it and make sure. Look at me, Dr. Doolittle, because if it's hurt. I don't know if it's a bird. Oh my gosh, it's a little tiny, that was a big, okay, that's a giant lizard. I thought it was a little tiny chipmunk, but it was a huge lizard. Wow, it's going up the tree, like, you guys. Let's go look at it. Where are you? It was huge. Oh my gosh, I mean, it was so big, I thought it was a small bird. Where are you? It's probably going to blend right into the tree, so I won't be able to see him. Oh my gosh, it was huge. Where did you go? That was amazing. Okay, I gotta go back. Anyway, so she's there. Her site is there, and it's all about, letting you guys know what to do, right? She's saying, hey, you know what? You're divine feminine. She's figured it out. She's moved. She's not waiting around for you. She's not crying. She was. She was crying. She was waiting. She needed you. But you were out there choosing all your other options, right? Whether that be work, friends. You were out there dealing with all of your stuff. And she waited and she waited. I posted a video yesterday that was when I was visiting Sedona, probably, I think it was 2014. And in the video, I was so excited because of the messages I was getting. I thought my twin was about to come back. He'd only been gone a year. And I really believed it. And every year that's gone by, I've really believed it. Every single year I've believed, this is it, this is it. And it never happened. And I used to come to Sedona, and I would get sad because I thought, I don't want to come back one more time unless he comes with me. I don't want to go back to Big Sur unless he comes with me. I don't want, and then it's like, you know, it got to the point where I have got to stop living my life for him. And there he comes. There he is. He's showing up in my house over and over. It's taken him a long time before he's come into my yard. But there he is. That's the towhee, the spotted towhee. Do you see him? As soon as I speak about him, he comes. He came right to my back patio last night when I was talking to my friend Jacob. And he says, wow, he's not afraid of you. And I said, no, he's not. He comes right to me now. He knows that all the bird seed that I put out in the bird feeders, the blocks, and the bird bowls, I did them all for him. He's the only one I was interested in, right? And so she talks about it, and she says, you know, that's how they felt. They waited for you. They waited, and they wouldn't let anybody else near them, but they were too needy. I kept doing my path, but I was aching, and I was hurting, and I was angry, and I was frustrated, just like Penny, right? But I'm not anymore. I finally decided that, you know, I needed to live my life for me, and my spiritual path meant moving forward without holding on to this person. It meant loving myself more than that person. And I get to finally let go, and I came here, and I made my own home. I didn't wait to make a home with him. I think a lot of you do that. I did, right? I kind of stayed in like a semi-permanent, not even semi-permanent, because Spirit says this is semi-permanent for me, but in a temporary situation, like my friend Ashley, she's very transient. I was very transient. And I thought, I'm done with that. I want a home. I'm not going to wait for you to come and give me a home. I'll make my own home. And I'm going to do my work. And if you can catch up and be here where you need to be, then good. And if you can't, because we all have free will, right? And the door opens and Spirit says, no, let it go and allow another in, then I will. But if you guys want to know what's going on, she's very accurate. And maybe it'll help you out. But I'm not going to put my energy into that. I put my energy into myself. Hold on. Let me keep myself hydrated out here. Okay, so we're going to start, and we're going to ask for a blessing on this reading. I'm asking for all angels of love and light, ancestors, any celestial beings that are in the light to come and preside, my archangels. I'm asking for blessing from my Heavenly Father. I'm asking that I be a divine channel for your healing energy, that I understand the words that you bring to me, that I'm able to utter the words that people will understand. And there's our totem, our second totem. Junebug. Over the next 3 to 5 days, something will occur. And then you popped in again. Okay, we're getting so many messengers right now. I've got a couple over here. And there's the boy and the girl together. So over the next 3 to 5 days, something will happen. Over the next 3 weeks, something else will occur. Come to a maturation. I'll post it in the time frame. I don't want to stop. I could go for hours and hours. This just does it for me. I love this. I love this. I always wanted to be a drummer. I always did. And yet it was too loud, right? Okay. Now, I told you I don't want to deal with, like, I'm not going to here to educate all the divine masculine and the divine, you know, counterparts. But the cards are mirror cards, and they're about relationships. So it's about a powerful tool to enhance your relationship. So this is what we're working with today, and we'll see what comes up. I read for my friend Ashley and her boyfriend Jonathan, and it was so dead on. It was so accurate. He was like, And what's so awesome about doing a couples reading with relationship cards is that they don't have to say to me what their issue is with the other, and they don't, because they don't have to be embarrassed. I don't ask, and the answers just come out. And so the male's perspective is given, and then the female's perspective is given, and they both get it, right? Correct for neutrality on all levels. I have my deck, which I have got to finish. I'm asking. I've been watching other readers. They pop on now and then, and so many have got their own decks. Many have several, and I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. Can't be that difficult. I want my deck. So I have the relationship cards, our spirit helpers, and my deck is what we're going to work with. So for the first item, for those who chose the lighthouse, be the light you want to see in the world. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the lighthouse, what are the ones that I'm choosing my angel, my guardian angel. Oh, I guess she's a guardian angel. I love the sweet sage. So in order of importance for me will be the guardian angel, the sweet sage, the happy Buddha, and the lighthouse. Correct for neutrality. For those who chose the lighthouse. Choice. You're at choice. My friend Jacob next door, it's interesting, that's my twin's name. It's also my son-in-law's name. I'm surrounded by Jakes. Although actually, I'm only surrounded by Jacobs. I'm not surrounded by Jakes. So 8 is an infinite supply, everything that you need. And you're at choice. Here's the sacral chakra and the solar plexus. When he came to work with me, energetically, he does myopractic work and energy work. I said, I've got heartburn. I don't know why. I'm not somebody that's ever dealt with heartburn. I don't know what's going on. And he said, your sacral, he goes, it's something to do with your sacral. You're blocked. And I'm like, how is that possible? I'm so active. My sacral chakra is completely active. And he says, yeah, but if there's a block in your meridian, it's not able to get through, and it's going both directions. It's blocked both ways. So what had happened is I had been keeping my wings. I always would say I put my wings around my twin to protect him, right? No matter what, I always kept my wings around him. And then I worked with all of you all the time, energetically, and my clients. And at the same time, I had a lot of men coming at me, and so I was protecting my heart. And he said, you have such a shield of armor on your back of your heart that your left wing is, like, he says, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know, it's sore. And he said, your left wing is seized up. And so he worked it loose and broke through. And when I heal, my twin heals, right? So protecting the heart. I was, and it went way back. It was way before him. It was a past life. It was here when I was murdered here in a past life. That little girl, I've been protecting my heart ever since somebody betrayed me. I've always been betrayed by a friend in my past lives. Someone that I trusted, I was betrayed constantly. So I'm to the point, and he says, it's a mindset. You can protect yourself without feeling the need to push everybody else away. And I said, but they don't listen. They keep coming when I tell them no. And he says, then just shut them out. And so that's why, if you don't come to my page bringing positive energy and happiness and love and light, you're not welcome. If you don't come into my life with that same energy, you're not welcome. I have no more time. A nanosecond, you're blocked, you're out. Because I'm not going to take it on in my physical body. So you're at choice right now. And the sacral and the solar plexus blending together, that's what mine have been doing, right? So yours are doing this. You're at choice. How are you going to behave? What are you going to do? What traps are you falling into? They're only your own traps. They're only you telling yourself that you have a blockage. You feel like you're stuck. You're the only one who can say that you're stuck or in fear. If Spirit tells you to protect yourself, and then let it go. Leave it to Spirit. Do what you're meant to do, and then let the Spirit handle the rest. So this is about couples, relationships. You're at choice, or are you on the fence? I haven't decided, right? I don't know. I'm in, I'm out, sitting on the fence, hoping maybe some sign's gonna come along and make my choice for me. Remember what happened? I was waiting in California, waiting, and Spirit said, make a choice. What do you want? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Go do it. Don't freaking wait for somebody else. This is the same. This is what's coming up at this time. So right now, Spirit says you've got the ability to choose what it is that you want. We don't always have a choice about the relationship that we get to keep, because everybody has free will. But we have choices within a relationship, don't we? And a lot of times we don't act because we feel powerless to act. They won't hear me. They won't understand. That's you putting that on them. And if you find yourself in a relationship like that, you're in the wrong relationship. So get out. You have a choice, right? Freedom. We all need freedom, even in relationships. Interpersonal freedom is extremely important in relationships for them to thrive and be happy. So what's keeping you blocked is your inability to choose, your inability to make a choice in your decision about what you want. And it's probably fear. Fear, false expectations appearing real. Stop expecting things to go bad, expecting things to go wrong. I can choose A, I can choose B. What makes my heart feel happy? What lightens me up? Who says which is better for you, A or B? It shouldn't be your parents or your friends, even your best friend. Song right now, my last made me feel like that I would never try again. But when I saw you, I felt something I never felt. But my friends don't think that you're right for me, or my family thinks blah, blah, blah. This is your life. You're an adult. We're all spiritually awakened people, or we wouldn't be on this page. We're awakening, right? You have a choice. Stop putting your choices onto other people. Stop blaming everybody else for your choices. We get a choice every single morning if we're going to wake up and be miserable, going to wake up and be angry, going to wake up and be fearful. You have a choice. So don't fall into the trap that I've only got this opportunity or that one. There's a gazillion opportunities. My dad used to say to me when I was 16 years old and my heart was broken from this guy that I just thought was everything in my life. It was my son's father. I eat, breathed, and slept this person. I'm very loyal when I'm focused. My heart is focused on someone. I don't go outside of that. This person was massively jealous, massively controlling. His friends controlled his choices, and he was angry because he wanted to be with me, but they said, she's too young for you. She doesn't live at the beach like we do. She's not like us. She's not part of our crew. And so he would sneak and see me, but then when his friends found out, then he had to break it off with me. Totally controlled by other people. I ended up marrying him finally, getting what I wanted. We were married for 1 year and it was hell. Abusive, control, jealousy. It was horrible. Got what I wanted, right? Be careful what you wish for. My dad said to me, Sherry, he's not the only man in the world. No, you don't understand. He's the only one my heart wants. Everyone else is throwing themselves at me and all I could see was him. I love my birds. And he says, if you were born in Germany, you would have found a guy in Germany. If you were born in Russia, you would have found a guy in Russia. You're in California now and you found this one. If we had stayed in Canada, you would have found somebody there. This is not the only opportunity. Don't think that that's the case. Could be, this is relationships, right? So it doesn't have to be a love relationship. It could be friendships. It could be a job relationship. Oh, there's a big line right there. Okay, so that little bird is eating what's left of my little plant that was sitting here. So I blamed the javelinas, but it was a cheeky bird. You've got birdseed everywhere. Bird feeders everywhere. Everybody wants what they can't have, right? So think about what are the options in front of you. You got multiple options. We all have multiple options. We think we're stuck. Even me, you know? Oh no, that's my twin soul. Well, what if my twin soul chooses to never come forward in this life? What if he never does? Song right now. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? I know this COVID virus has made a lot of people nervous, right? Thinking, geez, maybe I've waited too long. So look at your options in front of you. There are options. We all have options, right? How does it make you feel? What is for my highest good? I have said I will break my own heart before I fall off my spiritual path. I will not leave my spiritual path. So if I don't have somebody next to me, working with me, wanting to be my friend, my partner, my lover, my playmate, and grow and ascend and do our spiritual work, I need to look at the options around me, right? So how does it make you feel? It's about grabbing your destiny in your hands. Some people live in a dream world. Some people take those dreams and turn them into reality. Create your own destiny. So Spirit says there's a crisis possibly that's happening. And they're saying, well, there is. Look at this crisis that we're in right now. Use this crisis as an opportunity to explore your options and how they make you feel. Wow. If the world's ending, you'd come over, right? Like, if you thought it was all over, who would you want to be with that one last day? Where does your heart go? So we're going to go to my naked truth, and we're going to ask for 3 messages, 1 from each cup. Show me which one, please, Father. For the most amount of people watching, what is the one that's in the highest good? You will receive a call or a text. I was told that somebody didn't like the fact that they were told that it was over and they were going to come back. They thought, wait a minute, somebody else is coming in. I'm going to stop that. That's not going to happen. But they don't want a commitment. They just don't want the other person to get what they believe is theirs. I'm over that. I'll see through that. Weeks. It's a matter of weeks. 2 fell out. There is still confusion, right? That's what it was. Choice, there's still confusion. Sitting on the fence. Please don't forget me. Please don't forget me, but I still have confusion. Spirit says you've got weeks. All right. 2nd. Please don't forget me. That's the person that I said, right? Please don't forget me, but there's still confusion. Or what if there's one that you've got your mind on, your heart set on, and there's still confusion there, and there's somebody else that's been there saying, please don't forget me. You're ready. Maybe you're saying, well, I need a few weeks, and Spirit's saying, you're ready. Remember, time does not stand still, and neither does anybody else. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Good Lord, really? They are not your friend. Boundaries. They are not your friend. Boundaries. I have childhood trauma. It still affects me. We all have childhood trauma, and we think that we're the only ones that have childhood trauma. Sexual abuse that causes extreme dysfunction in relationships. It may not be the way it affects you. Remember, especially if you're a twin soul, you're a mirror. You're not the only one who suffers what you think you suffer with. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Hey, this is going longer than I thought. I was going to do a spirit helper. Here comes Watson and his owner, my little neighbor, the wiener dog. For the ones who chose the lighthouse. Morning! I'm fantastic. How are you?
Well, maybe not quite fantastic, but pretty good.
Okay, that's good. Horse. I love the horses. I was a horsey girl growing up. Scott Cienega, remember me in high school? Horse shirt, cowboy hat. And I didn't live on a farm. I always wanted to. So the horse talks about freedom. The horse talks about spirit carrying you forward. It talks about adventuresome energy, sexual energy, achievement, vitality. You see a horse in the field, oh, they're just incredible. Restless, energetic, free-spirited individuals who love to travel. That's the horse, right? They can be temperamental too, especially if you try and tie them down, right?
They don't like to take orders, and they're hard-headed and they're rebellious. I resonate with the horse. They're powerful, they're charismatic, they're sexually attractive, and they inspire others to follow in their wake. When I was a little girl, my favorite was the Pegasus, the mobile gas stations, remember, with the flying horse? And I would point, every time we would go to that gas station, my mom took me there just because she knew. I would say, oh, Mommy, look, flying horses. People would say, oh, she's got such a beautiful little accent. Where are you from? And she would say, here. She just has an accent. It's my star child. My star child. She speaks to the animals too. So, right now, Spirit is saying that the horse is coming forward. It might be a sign that your independence is being restrained. You're feeling stuck, but you're at choice. Maybe you need to take some more risks. Maybe you need to embrace your freedom. It might be that you're about to take a trip. I am. I'm going home, and probably within 2 weeks, my landlord said my trailer will be ready for me to pick it up. You might be going on a physical journey. You might be going on a mental journey. You might be going on a spiritual journey. It's definitely forward movement. But it's also telling you that you aren't expressing yourself sexually in the proper way, adequately, enough. It's not enough. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself sexually as long as you're not hurting anyone else, right? You're not breaking other people's hearts. Some people fill their void by getting others to fall in love with them, and then they run away, right? Leaving a trail of broken hearts in their wake. So, this could come into your life in a dream as well, the horse, right? My dreams were pretty intense last night, and right now, I don't recall because I didn't bother waking up to write them down. So, if you're watching a horse run, you're on the sidelines. You're not living, right? You're watching it happen. If you watch a horse stampeding, that was a message. You're on a sideline. That was highlighted by the bird. If you're stampeding or rearing, your emotions are out of control. Maybe you're a workhorse. You're pulling too much weight, right? Your freedom is limited by the responsibilities that you've allowed to be heaped upon you. So that's your message. Goes very well with card choice. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the sweet sage, and I did. You sang off key in my chorus, because it wasn't yours. I saw the signs, but I ignored them. Rose-colored glasses. You set fire to my forest, and you let it burn. You got off, and I heard it and felt it. That's a horrible feeling. That's a horrible feeling to feel the one that you love having sex with somebody else. It's excruciating, and that's why I understand Penny saying that it was evil. What was being done to her, it wasn't fair. It's pretty horrible. So the two that came up were expression and sadness. The song is not a mistake that it's playing right now. So the peacock expression. Are you a peacock out there filling your void by leaving a trail of broken hearts? Leaving sadness behind you in the wake? Do you have unexpressed sadness? Songs are really a good way to get it out. Sing your songs, get it out. Don't repress your feelings. Don't hold them inside, because when you do, it comes out in the form of physical and mental illness. Your body needs to release sadness. It needs to express what it needs to express. You made me think I deserved it, right? We all go through that. We don't deserve somebody else to make us feel sad. We don't have to take that on. It starts in childhood, doesn't it? So it's a two-way feeling expression, right? It's two ways. We both have feelings. And you need to feel and check and see if you're being dismissive of somebody else's feelings, because we're entitled to our feelings. And you could avoid unnecessary problems and confrontation if you will address these feelings. Or if you will stop and listen to what your partner has to say, you might learn something. But if I listen to what they have to say, do I have to agree to it? No. You're entitled to your own feelings, but it doesn't mean that the other person doesn't get to express their feelings, right? And if you empathize with somebody, it doesn't mean that you agree with them. I understand that. I could see that. Like, I can see that. I don't think my twin is evil. I can understand why you would think that your twin was evil to put you through that. But you're also putting him through it, right? Where it's a mirror. So we have to try and understand what it's like to be in the other person's position. Silence is I was tortured my whole life with silence. That's how my parents controlled me. That's how I was punished, the silent treatment. I would rather you scream at me then be silent and give me the silent treatment. That is a form of abusive control. It's not okay. Express what you want to express. If you're not interested, say it. If this is what's going on, say it. But don't give somebody the silent treatment. It's not fair. So you might have strong beliefs about how people should act, and you think that they won't hear what you have to say. They can hear what you have to say, but they don't have to agree with what you have to say, right? You might feel that that's too overwhelming. They're too overwhelming for me, so I need to pull myself back. That energy is too overwhelming. Maybe you feel like, oh, here it is, right? I'll admit, it was wrong. It only happened once. I was wrong. It doesn't make it right. I promise there were no feelings involved. Do you have any idea how that makes someone feel? I promise there were no feelings involved. Do you think that makes it better? That you would fuck somebody else? It didn't matter. It didn't mean anything. I was thinking about you the whole time I was fucking her. Do you know how that would make somebody feel? Not better. How long has this been going on? You've been fooling around while you've been calling me baby. I've been through this, right? It's not okay. It's not okay. I've been overwhelmed by my feelings. Well, what about them? Right? Could you let go of your position for 5 minutes and maybe see it from somebody else's perspective? You probably couldn't if there was no expression. If there was no expressing of feelings, how could you? There's no discussion taking place, right? You're the only one I want to love. She said, boy, tell me honestly, was it real or just for show? I don't know why somebody would even ask that. Was it real or just for show? So because you wanted to look like the man or the girl, right? The woman, all the guys wanted, because it goes both ways, right? All along, I've trusted you all along. I had such faith in you, and all along you were playing me for a fool. But in all reality, you weren't playing me for a fool. You were just showing yourself as a fool, right? And now you lost it, what you wanted most. So this is about expressing yourself. Try to understand where your partner's coming from. Why are they sad? Where's the sadness coming from? It's the expression that brings forth the strength in the relationship. If you can't express to your partner, who can you express to? Now, we all grow up with childhood wounding. Big time, right? There it is. I have a hard time expressing myself. Well, don't start something with somebody if you're not going to. Be open to them if you don't trust them enough to speak to them. But there's a deep, deep sadness inside of somebody that's overwhelming. It's caused them to pull back when they started to feel their feelings because they felt it would overwhelm them, take them over, and it would take them down, and they'd been hurt before, and so they cut and run. Or they will run before they figure you find out who they really are because they have such self-loathing. It's all healing that everybody goes through, right? But this is relationship. We're talking relationships here. So there's a lot of pain, deep pain, that causes the block in expression, right? And then there's no movement. And when there's no movement, things get stagnant and then it gets worse. Danger, danger, Will Robinson, say all the little quail that are running around. There's a danger in allowing things to stagnate, right? Sadness and joy can't be in the same place. They can't exist in the same house. There's joy in this house. I don't want sadness in this house. My house is open for happiness, right? So when we have sadness, it constricts us. But when we have happiness, it expands us. So you're being encouraged right now to allow yourself to feel the depths of whatever it is. If you got to feel your sadness, then feel it. You got to allow it out. Don't get locked in that sadness. Don't be afraid. And maybe you're somebody who suffers from sadness and depression or anxiety, and you feel that that's going to be too heavy for someone else. But don't make that choice for them. Express that to them. Share that with them. You don't have to stay in a place of sadness. You might find that being in the energy of somebody else actually lifts that sadness. You may think that I'll pull that person down. I'll only hurt them. Don't make a choice for another person. Maybe there's sadness inside that's been needing to come out for a really long time. I'm doing a lot of healing. We're constantly healing. I've made a whole child deck in the back. It's all fairies, and I've got a child's rocking chair and a toy box, and my plants are in it, and I love it. It's my inner child. That there was sadness in my inner child, that I want to have delight and happiness, and that's what's here. Happiness and delight. I'm building a fairy kingdom in my plants here. You've got to work through your sadness, right? There's a clearing that needs to take place. You need to get it out. Anything that stays inside makes you sick. If you feel like your heart is breaking, maybe it's true, but that's how the light gets in. My heart's been broken so many times, I can't tell you. But that shell that I've been protecting myself was hurting me. It was causing aches, and it was causing me to push everybody away. Friends, even. I wouldn't allow any male near me. They're fighting. This quail couple is fighting. Okay, so she's up in the tree, and he was chasing her. There he goes. He's gonna go up after her. And she's saying, look, you're being a jerk. Or he's saying, look, you're being a jerk. But they're expressing it with themselves. He's gonna, look, there she goes. She goes, I'm leaving. I'm not putting up with this bullshit. If this is the way you're gonna treat me, if you're gonna hurt me, I'm not gonna stick around for it. So now he's walking the other way, or maybe she chased him off. Oh, there he goes again. Right? So you express yourself. I don't like the way that you're behaving. I don't like what you're saying. I don't like the way you're treating me. It doesn't work for me. I was happy minding my own business, enjoying my morning, and you had to start. Wow, there's 3. So there's a busybody in the mix. Somebody's trying to take away from one, maybe a couple. Oh, they're picking on that one, watch out. So a third-party situation is causing a problem. They're really going to town over there. And there's the biggest one. This is the big one now coming to say, okay, you know what? Needs to stop. Go tell them. Maybe those are her kids. But there's 3 that are fighting. Maybe it's spirit saying, stop fighting. Communicate. You don't have to fight, you can communicate, right? Somebody's got sadness, somebody's rising and somebody's sad. Maybe that's a problem. I see you expanding and you're leaving, because one was upside down. One is a phoenix rising, and one is sad. I see you rising and leaving. You're expanding, and that's causing a reaction. Or maybe you're moving from this sad place, and you are the phoenix rising. When you're feeling this deep, deep pain, it feels like you're dying, but that's what you have to go through before you can be reborn, right? You don't have to leave this world in order to be reborn. Ooh. Are you enjoying your little bird bowl? Are you? I'm glad. Oh God, that makes me so happy. I can't tell you how that makes me so happy. Aren't you the guy that tried to hurt me with goodbye? Don't show up. If you don't want to see me dancing, don't show up. If you don't want to see me rise, don't show up. Don't show up now, right? You just wanted to be the peacock. And now you see someone else that's already healed and moved on. And now you're hurting. It feels like you're dying. Allow yourself to feel the sadness. If you don't want to see me dancing with somebody, if you wanted to believe that anything could stop me, don't show up. Don't come out. Don't stop caring about me now. Walk away. You know how. You're good at it. Don't stop caring about me now. Sometimes it's too late, right? But you won't know if you don't express yourself. If you want something, fight for it. I'd like you to initiate sex this time, please. In a relationship, maybe that's an issue. Why does it always have to be me? I feel like you don't even want me, right? You roll over, or you're talking on your phone, or you're you know, watching TV, or I don't know what your deal is, but I'd like you to initiate sex. I don't want it always to have to be me, right? That's an expression that needs to be said. Correct for neutrality. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the sweet sage, within this year, something happens. Within this year. Correct for neutrality on all levels. You let me down, and it hurts. Own it. Right? Own it. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the sweet sage. I used to say to my kids all the time, when they'd done something and they were in trouble and they were hiding, because I didn't give my kids the silent treatment. I let them know. But I didn't hit them over the head and punish them over and over again. I let them know, and that was the end of it. But my son especially was extremely sensitive, and he couldn't handle me being disappointed in him. It hurt him. And I would go to him and I would say, just because I'm mad at you doesn't mean I don't love you. I always love you. But you hurt my feelings. It wasn't okay. Correct for neutrality. Didn't have to say that to him very often because he was so sensitive. Raccoon. Are you wearing a mask? You're very clever. You're adaptable. You're very dexterous with your hands. Dexterous, I remember the word. You can do a lot of things. They're called the masked bandits. Look how cute. Look how cute. I freaking love raccoons. They like the woods. They're everywhere, but they prefer the trees. I get it, me too. They'll eat about anything, but they like vegetables and fruit. I love the fact that they're so clean and they wash their faces and their hands and their food before they eat it. So the raccoon people, they're very skillful, they're very clever, they're curious, they're resourceful, they are physical. Like I said, they're dexterous with their hands and their bodies. They might be a little bit fussy, OCD. I'm a raccoon person, right? We're a little bit too clean, a little bit too neat, too meticulous. So they're very adaptable. They can live in pretty much any environment. They're friendly. They kind of are reclusive. They're friendly, but they like their solitary time. They're not easily angered. I'm not easily angered, but when you push and push and push and push and push and push and push, then you watch the volcano. And that's the same thing as a raccoon. They take a lot, but when they blow, they show their fangs, right? So they can be deceptive. They can be sly. They can be cunning. They can be very secretive. And while they're secretive about their own lives and they don't want anybody knowing about them, they're very curious about what you're doing. So they may spy on you. They may create fake profiles. They may write to you as women when they're men, or men when they're women. They may call your chat line and pretend to be asking about other people when very well you know that they are asking about you. If you see a raccoon, it's telling you it's time to get organized. It's telling you that you need to be a little bit more clever and you need to adapt for your circumstances. Maybe you're being told that you need to be a little bit more secretive. Maybe you need to wear your glasses so somebody can't read your eyes, right? You may need to hide a plan that you have. There may be somebody that's not trustworthy around you. And so you need to keep things under wraps. It could also be letting you know that there's someone that's hiding behind a disguise. No kidding. It also could be telling you you're being deceptive and you're being devious and it's not okay. All right. For those who chose the Happy Buddha, correct for neutrality. Wow, we're almost at an hour. Let's move it, Sherry. Correct for neutrality. For those who chose the Happy Buddha, responsibility. It's time to take responsibility. 2 and 4 is the number, right? For both of you. You both need to take responsibility. Or everybody needs to take responsibility for their own actions, right? You're not responsible for everybody else. You're responsible for your actions. You can't control another person, and you shouldn't allow another to control you. Are you feeling guilty or overly responsible about what somebody else has done, or about what somebody else is doing, or about how somebody else is feeling? have you done or said something that's hurtful? Are you needing to separate yourself from what you are responsible for and what somebody else is responsible for? You need to figure this out. Maybe it's hard for you. Maybe you feel like you need to be a good person, and in order to be a good person, it's my responsibility that they feel that way. No, it's not your responsibility. Good people have a conscience, right? Some people don't have a conscience. Some people are narcissists and they don't have natural affection or feeling. So how do you work with that, right? You're not responsible for how somebody else feels. You're responsible for what your actions, what you say, and what you do. How somebody else responds to that is their responsibility. When you come from a place of love, when you come from a place of good intention, and somebody misunderstands, that's not your responsibility. If you explain yourself and they still take it wrong or get it wrong, that's not your problem. If you make a choice and they don't like it, that's not your problem, right? Song right now. I know you got to make it on your own, but we don't have to grow up. Couldn't you just stay on the couch and drink Coke and not go anywhere? No, that's not called being an adult. So I can think of 1,000 reasons why, but you're going. Can't you just stay? No. So no one can make you feel anything, make you do anything, make you act in a certain way. Nobody can make you anything. It's your responsibility. So you need to look at what's going on in this situation, whatever this is that you're talking about. What is my responsibility in this? What is it that I'm responsible for? What part have I played? What must I do? How can I choose the appropriate words? You've got power, right? Okay, I recognize that I did this, and so this is my responsibility. I need to own up to that. I need to recognize that I did that, or that I came across that way. Or if we're going back to how, you know, somebody is seeing through another person's eyes, and it's overwhelming and confusing, and all of this is going on, and then they get upset. You can put yourselves in another person's position and understand where they are. That's why they did that. They were feeling that way. But you don't take responsibility for their actions, right? They have to take responsibility for their actions. Guilt is something that people use to control people. Oh, they're going to lay the guilt trip on me now. Oh my God, they're going to say I did this and I did that. They did this and they did that. Okay, we're just expressing ourselves, right? It's a two-way, it's a reciprocal. This is a relationship. This is a mirror. This is mirroring, right? This is showing you. So I had the guilt trip laid on me my whole life. My mom was a classic guilt tripper. Right up until the day she died. She did it. I don't lay guilt trips on my kids because it was done to me my whole life. It's not fair. It isn't fair. If you have to guilt somebody into doing something, it's not love anyway. You don't want it. Why? Because you just need to control, right? You need to separate yourself from what you're responsible for and who you're responsible for. I find myself as a teacher wanting someone to understand. Why don't you understand this? I'm trying to help you. And then I realized, you're the mailman. The mailman doesn't go and say, sign those divorce papers. You need to sign those. Don't you realize that if you don't do this, this can't move forward? No, you just go and you say, here's your mail. Do what you want with it, right? Do what you want with it. You can either hear me or not hear me. You can agree or don't disagree. I'm just delivering Spirit's message. A lot of times people think I'm pointing a message at somebody because they feel guilty, because they're resonating with it. I'm just delivering a message. I don't even know who's twigging on this, right? So you're not responsible for how somebody else feels, and you can, when you realize that you're not responsible for how they feel, then you can avoid taking the responsibility of whatever it is that they're dealing with, right? And then you can have the courage to follow what your own heart wants for you to do for yourself. I'm not responsible for the fact that that hurts that person's feelings, that I don't care for them, that I don't want that. Well, I didn't want to hurt their feelings. Well, you know what? What's better is to be honest, because you're hurting them by not being honest, by stringing them along. Guilt is distorted responsibility. You're not responsible. You're not. It's just another way of control. It's just guilt, control, guilt. So She's a gold digger. She ain't messing with no broke nigga. 18 years, 18 years. She had his ass for 18 years. Found out the kid wasn't his. She's a gold digger. She hasn't got nothing, and you got money. Stupid friends talking, right? People like those three, that third-party situation, all the fights and the arguments, and then spirit rushing in to say, hey, it's not your responsibility to control that person's choices. And if that's going to happen to that person, then that was something that person needed to learn, right? If you can't figure out what a gold digger is, that's your lesson to learn. But not everybody is a gold digger. Confirmation. So, 18 years, 18 years. Found out that kid wasn't his. I've had that. My ex-husband raised a little girl that wasn't his. 5 years later, after she was born, turned around and looked at her in the light, and the sun hit her face just in the perfect situation to where he saw his best friend's face. Why did that happen? There was obvious signs that were not being seen. Very, very clear signs that were not being seen. Right? Correct for neutrality. So many messages. For those who chose the Happy Buddha. Please don't forget me. Out of all these cards, and I got that again, please don't forget me. There is no need for worry. Please don't forget me. There is no need for worry. I don't know what the worry is about. Whether you're forgotten or whether you should come forward or not. Whether you've taken responsibility. Whether you need to be honest. If I'm honest, what's going to happen? No need for worry. Correct for neutrality. I want you to live with me, will you? There's no need to worry. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the Happy Buddha, what spirit animal wants to speak with you? The raccoon. Somebody's being deceptive. Somebody's wearing a mask. Somebody's not telling the truth of how they feel. Somebody around you is deceptive. There's no need for worry. Your friends are telling you you need to worry about something. There's no need for worry. So what is it of all these messages? What is it that stands out for this one, for Raccoon? Mystery, secrets. Secrets. There's a secret. You need to get organized. You need to speak your truth. You need to be honest. You're perfect. You don't need no filter. You drop dead, you're a killer. I'd shower you with all of my attention. That's my only intention. Is that your honest truth? I want to make sure that you need nothing. These are my only intentions. So somebody is not telling the truth of how they feel. They actually feel this, but they're hiding behind a mask. They're not allowing it to be seen. And as soon as I said that, I saw a squirrel go over the neighbor's roof. The squirrel says, get ready for big changes. It says, get prepared. You make it easy to choose. You got a mean touch I can't refuse. Picture perfect. You don't need no filter. So this person appreciates honesty, right? Honesty. Oh. Sitting right on top, honesty. This person appreciates honesty because others have been dishonest. They've got a plan, and they better open their mouth. Because a lot of times people have a plan, and you think something bad's happening, when in all reality, they've got something really wonderful planned, but the other person's hurting. It's time to be honest. Correct for neutrality on all of us. For those who chose... The quail are having a, you're my rock, my Colorado. I love to watch them fly up in the tree. It's pretty amazing. Because they're mostly a bird that likes to run along the ground. So when they make an effort to do that, it's a big deal. Correct for neutrality. For those who chose the garden angel, I did. Do you see those birdies like her? I'm hearing this strange noise. I'm like, what's that noise? He's watching all these birds. He has so much fun. It's right in the tree, isn't it? That big bird. That's a very strange bird with a little crown on its head. It's climbing way up in the tree. It's funny to see those birds up in those trees. Correct for neutrality on all levels. There's a girl walking down the street. She's doing lunges all the way up the hill and down the road. That's hard. Too many flipped. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Just one, please. I asked for one and they give me two. See, I don't get to decide what Spirit says. Anger and boundaries. Ooh. Anger and boundaries. Crossing boundaries. We all have anger, right? And we all need to respect everybody's boundaries, but we don't. When we get angry, we cross others' boundaries, don't we? Anger. So if you direct your anger at somebody, it's in order to hurt them or to make them change what they're doing. If you do it that way, if you try to hurt somebody with anger, that's control again. That's abuse. It's abusive, right? You don't try to hurt somebody. So if you feel like your feelings are really strong in a situation and you feel like you're going to lose control, obviously you're hurting. But it can resort to rage, right? So there is a line that you have to cross because you can express your feelings of upset, right? But you have to be able to express it in a clear way without being abusive, without demeaning someone, without making somebody feel worthless, unworthy, less than, right? Maybe we got to be careful not to cross that line when you go to express your anger in regards to something. So it's hard to be objective when you're angry and you're out of control. So somebody said to me, what will you do if you get mad at me? I start cleaning ferociously, or I go for a walk. I have to do something. I have to do something. Don't restrain me. Don't try to restrain me. Don't try to hold me from leaving. I have to leave. I have to go. If I'm angry like that, you have to let go of me. I had somebody that restrained me for 10 years, threw me up against walls, threw me back in the house, tried to control, didn't want anyone to know what was happening. If she leaves, what if she says something to someone? Boom, bash, boom. Do not try to hold me back. Don't, right? That causes fear. That's crossing my boundary. Don't stop me. So you're entitled to your feelings and you're entitled to show them. And it's important that you do show and express what you're feeling, but don't inflict injury and pain upon another person because you're angry. Don't say something to somebody to hurt them because you're hurt. Don't lie to somebody and say something that crushes them because they hurt you. So people have said things. People have lied and said really horrible things. And they don't even mean it, but they were hurt and they said it. And it caused so much extreme pain. You got to find a different way to express yourself, right? Let people know what you're feeling and then allow them the space to respond. Let them process it and figure out what they need to do, right? They need to decide for themselves about what they feel. And they have to be able to do that without fearing that you're going to slay them. Men are afraid of me because I'm outspoken, but I'm very loving and very understanding, compassionate. I've got very, very sensitive soul. I've been very, very hurt, right? But I'm also very powerful because I speak my truth. And maybe that's, somebody that doesn't have the ability to do that is fearful. Now, the person that was very abusive to me, He apologized, and he said he didn't know how to express himself, and I was so good with my words, and anytime he's opened his mouth, it was just like, bleh. There weren't even real words that came out, and it frustrated him because I could just go, and it came out, right? I was young. I was frustrated because I was being abused, right? And you're not going to control me and abuse me and think that I'm going to just stand for it. It's not going to happen. So that was clearly a relationship that was dysfunctional, should have ended from the beginning. So when you take the blame out of your words, you did this and you made this happen. This is how I felt. That's how I felt. Do you know what I was going through, what I went through, what happened to me? No. If you told me, maybe I could understand. I wish I understood what you were going through. I wish I knew what was happening. I would have been able to see the pain and not the anger. Don't belittle, attack, or provoke, or needle somebody, right? And then expect something wonderful. Song, I'm heartless and I'm bad to my bones. I'm bad to my ways. I'm trying to change, but I'm heartless. Don't say that, oh, that's just the way I am. That's copping out, not taking responsibility for your actions. I'm trying to be a better man and change my ways, but I'm heartless. Come on, grow up, right? They have a therapy kind of way of talking, and it's like you take your anger and you dump it on the table. There it is. You both are going to see it. There it is. This is what it is on the table. Okay, well, this is what it is on the table for me. Okay, well, there it is. So look at it. If you put it on the table and you allow it to be aired out there on the table, instead of saying, you are this, you are that. You aren't anything. We are a combination and a mass result of everything that's ever happened to us, right? I'm not fat. I'm not arrogant. You're arrogant. You're ego-based. You are heartless. You are selfish. You're being selfish. You're acting selfish. You're acting heartless. You're acting insensitive. Why are you behaving that way? It's different, a good way of being able to get it out without attacking the other person. Because when you feel attacked, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So then the boundaries that we have, it's about respecting another's boundaries, right? Maybe when you were a child, nobody respected your boundaries. You have boundaries as a child too, right? Are you a people pleaser? Taking care of everybody else's needs, right? Everybody else's feelings come on you. You're responsible for how they feel. There are no boundaries. You have no boundaries and they have no boundaries. And you have to learn to put your boundaries up and recognize that's not my stuff to carry. That's not my problem. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that person did that to you, but that's not me. That's not my problem. Don't blame me for the sins of others. That's a confirmation, right? Maybe you're scared of saying what you need or what you feel because you're worried about a conflict or fight because maybe you were never heard or nobody listened. So boundaries are very, very important for you to understand what's healthy and what's not healthy for me. May not be what's not healthy for another, right? But you know for you. For me, this is crossing a boundary for me. I'm not good with that. I've stated this on my page again and again. Don't come to me talking about witchcraft and telling me who you think I am. You've crossed my boundary and you're not welcome to do that. Don't come to my page and dump your shit. And I understand you're expressing yourself, but once it's been stated and you keep doing it, you're going to be removed. Don't keep doing it. Don't disrespect my boundaries. Don't touch me. You don't have the right to come up and slap my ass, pinch my butt. You're crossing my boundaries. Oh, come on, we're friends. No, you don't have the right to touch me. I've been sexually abused. I've been manhandled. I've been woman beat up. Don't fucking come inside my boundary. I have a space around me that needs to be respected. If you see me backing up, you're in my space. You can back up and show people quietly look, you're a little too close. Have you ever had those people that just get right in your face and they're talking to you? Don't do that. If people that point in your face, don't do that. You're in my boundaries, right? Your boundaries are sensitive energy. Like your immune system, you start to cough, you start to get weakened when your boundaries are invaded, right? That doesn't feel good to me. You're coming into my boundary. I don't like that. My twin said to me one time, I was upset with him, and he asked me to do something, and I didn't want to do it. It crossed my boundaries to do it, but I felt obligated. Isn't that odd? I felt obligated because I hadn't seen him for so long, and I didn't think I was going to see him. He kept pushing me away. And so I thought, okay. So I did it. And then he didn't respond. And I was waiting. And I was so humiliated. And I thought, oh my God, why did I do that? And I got upset. And I said, I can't believe I did that. I wanted to be viewed as somebody different than all these others. And look what I did. I humiliated myself. I'll never do something like that again. And he's like, what? So what had happened, which always happens with us, as we were crossing over our communication, I would send him something and he hadn't gotten it yet. It got lost somewhere or whatever. Or he would send something and I hadn't gotten it. And so it had been a long time and he didn't respond. And it was a big deal. Now, the man's very busy working, right? And yet this was a really, really sensitive subject. And for me, it was a big deal. And he didn't respond. And I got very upset. And he's like, wow, I think you're a little crazy. And I was like, you make me crazy. And he says, no, I don't like it. Please do not contact me if you cannot be sane. And I was like, sane? Are you kidding me? And then like as I'm sitting there with my mouth hanging open, 3 minutes later I get an email and he says, oh, I just received your picture. It's beautiful. Thank you. Now I observe why you're angry. And I was just like, gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. Right? But it was like there wasn't enough time. He missed it. He just found it. I don't know where the email went, that he didn't see it. Right? Oh. Now I observe why you're angry. I get why you're angry, right? You've been sitting here waiting, and I've never responded to something that was so personal and so sacred because I had never shared that part of myself with anybody like that. Not even my husband when I was married. I told my ex-husband that and he was mad at me. Can't believe you did that. I sent him a naked picture. And I was mortified because it was online and God knows who got it, right? And in all reality, other people did get it and they printed it off and shared it with everybody else at work. That was humiliating. I watched that too. So, boundaries, right? Somebody invaded another person's boundaries pretty badly in that place. So your healthy boundaries give you the ability to say, yes, this is okay with me, or no, it's not okay with me. I'm not comfortable with that. Somebody wanted to rent my suite, a spare room. She's she's a friend and she's in need. And I thought about it and I realized, I said before I came here, I don't want to share. I don't want another woman in my house. I don't. The only other person that will share this house will be my lover. I finally have a space all to myself and I like it because I can control the energy that's in here, right? I couldn't control if a roommate came in, what energy came in with them. And it would affect my house and affect my life and my relationship and my animals. It was hard enough already to stop the energy that was coming in because of my work and this, right? So I said, I'm not comfortable with that. I think I want this place to myself. So we need to have that boundary in order to feel safe, to feel comfortable. And when we don't know our boundaries, nobody knows who's doing what to whom and why. We don't know what our direction is, and others don't either, because our boundaries aren't clear. So maybe it's about making your boundaries clear. When you do this, that sets me off. That crosses a boundary of mine. That makes me angry when that happens. But if I don't know that, I went to Boulder, California, a little village. It was so beautiful, and I stayed up there at this campground. And when I went in, there was these two gay guys that ran it. They were really cool at first. And then I noticed that one was just not nice to me. I don't know what his problem was. Well, because I told him I was a spiritual teacher. And he thought I was judging him. He thought I was like a religious teacher and thought that I was going to think that he was a bad person because he was gay. Didn't find that out until the very end of my stay, which is a nightmare. But he made my stay miserable because he just needled me from that moment on. He was just pushing, pushing, pushing because he figured I was judging him, and I wasn't. But he was on my ass about everything, and he said, you know, you can't have somebody at your campsite at 10 o'clock at night. And I said, were we loud? It doesn't matter. The rules are blah, blah, blah. And I said, I didn't know about any rules, right? So I went up, I kept trying to be really nice to this person, and, you know, I figured, I don't know what I've done. I figured it, Spirit said, you know, he thinks you're judging him. And so I was trying so hard to be nice to him. And I said, do you have a postcard of the property? Because I'd love to send it out. If I had a postcard, if you guys had postcards, you could get people to come here. You know, I would come here again. It's beautiful, and people need to see this place. It's immaculate. You run this place so clean. And he says, no, but he says, we have a map. And so they gave me this map, and I was looking at it, and I turned it over, and on the back of it were the rules. There were like 15 rules for the park. Nobody gave me that. So I went up to him, and I said, I just want to say something to you. I know you've been annoyed with me by a couple of different things, but I got to tell you, I just saw this. Nobody gave me the rules when I came in. If I don't know what the rules are, how can I obey the rules? And he said, I'm sorry, nobody gave you that? And I said, no. If I had known that nobody was supposed to be in the park after 10, I wouldn't have let my friend come over. But we'd been hiking all day, and we were starving. You know, we were quiet, we were respectful, but you were very rude to me. If I had known the rules to obey, I would have obeyed them. And he's like, I'm sorry. We made up. We were friends. Guy was from Alaska. And he left after that. Doesn't run the place anymore. But he was angry because he thought that I had crossed the boundaries. But how can I know what boundaries not to cross if you don't tell me? It's called using your words, right? Correct for neutrality for those who chose the guardian angel. Cut cords to your ex and set clear boundaries. There you go. Your ex is causing problems. Your ex is interfering. Your ex is contacting me constantly. Cut your cords to your ex and set clear boundaries. I am doing it constantly. You have to keep doing it. Cords, when you think about them, talk about them, speak to them, a cord goes back around you. I can't believe you don't see your high value. Somebody made you feel so bad about yourself that you don't see how valuable, and you don't see your worth, because I do. I can't believe you don't see your high value, but maybe they don't. Just dating for now. Just dating for now. 2 in this deck, they said. Yes, with a capital letters and an exclamation mark. What's your animal messenger? The otter. I like otters. They're so cute. They hold each other's hands while they sleep at night so they don't drift apart. They love the rivers, but they live in the ocean as well. They like the rocky shores. They're very curious. They're playful. They're very strong swimmers. They've got webbed feet so that they can swim through the water really quickly. Obviously, they live off of fish. And it's so cool because they sleep while they're floating. Pretty neat to watch them. They're very playful people. If they're otter people, they're very devoted to their family. A lot of times, otter people have a hard time letting their kids go. They overmother, right? They could be over-mothering fathers. They're very neat. They're very organized. They're very constructive. They like to manage. Sometimes they're a micromanager, right? They're willing to help. They insist on being independent themselves, which is interesting. They insist on being independent, and they resist having restrictions placed upon them, and yet they don't want their kids to be able to have their own life. If you look at the otter in the Native American culture, it talks about purification and cleansing. Think about them being in their emotional waters, right? So it might be telling you that you need to have more fun and let your worries roll off your back like water off of a duck or otter's back. You need to renew maybe your playful spirit, your energetic childlike energy, your sense of wonder and magic. That's why I'm creating a fairy garden. My friend Jacob came in yesterday and he walked out on the back porch because he came to my house to do an energy healing. And then he stopped by yesterday, a few days later, because I was having a release on this arm and it was hurting. So he stopped by really quick on the way home from the gym. And in those 2 days, I had set up that whole fairy kingdom in the back on the patio and had the rocking chair. So he walks back there and he goes, it's different. And I go, it's not staying this way. He goes, no, I get it. I totally get it. He goes, your inner child is like totally playing here. It's magical. He goes, this is a fairy's house. This is a fairy's house. I saw it right away. They got all your animal bowls everywhere and all of the colors, and there's so many toys. And I said, my mother's here with me. My mother's absolutely living vicariously through me. She's my angel. And I thought it was funny, but that's what they're saying to you. Maybe you need to have a little bit more fun. Don't be so stuffy, right? Enjoy yourself. Open yourself up to new experiences. Okay, we're at a wrap at 1 hour and 25 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. If anybody would like to go deeper for your readings, or if I could help you with anything, I'm a long-distance Reiki master. I've created a wellness line along with Spirit, silver solution, and essential oils. Oh, there's so many things that I do. My website is www.theangelswhisper.com. I would be honored. I hope you have a beautiful day. May the peace within me be also within you. Namaste.